we find artists under 1,000 followers, and we like to give them a little shout out. The people that we see have like super dang potential, and we came across your profile, man. Listen to your music, and you fit just the profile we're looking for. You got some really nice tracks, man. It's fucking awesome stuff going.
Thank you.
So usually,
No problem.
Like a little intro about yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been rapping for.
Yeah, so I'm 20 years old. I'm originally from Madison, Wisconsin, but I go to school in Winona, Minnesota. I've been making music. I messed around with it in high school, but I just started actually like really trying.
Nice. So is it you that does like all the mixing and recording of your vocals and shit?
Yeah, so I record all my vocals. I have a couple producers I work with, and then my friend from high school does all my engineering, so he does all my mixing and mastering.
What started it all? What were you like, yo, I'm gonna start singing, start rapping?
Well, I really just always liked music. Like I was always like I had in my early on in high school, like when I was a freshman, sophomore, I really liked finding underground music and just finding stuff that not everyone was listening to. And I like just finding that kind of music because then I'd listen to it and then I could kind of be inspired a little better rather than mainstream music, so I could have a little bit of a different sound and kind of try to stand out from other people.
Was it always hip hop?
What's up?
Was it always hip hop that you listened to?
It was like pop, it was rap, it was hip hop, it was R&B, it was rock, it was like alternative. I was listening to a little bit of everything.
Do you find you still do that same process now? Like you said that you did that back in the day, kind of listen to some underground things, people that maybe not everyone would listen to kind of get more of a creative edge or some inspiration. Do you find you still use that process a little bit with your music today?
Definitely. A few people I've been really listening to heavily. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but I've listened to a lot of Stephen Moses and Ted Park. There are a couple of people I've worked with on a couple of songs, and they're just starting to really break out, but they've been underground for a pretty long time. But I really like what they're doing. They're really like pushing the envelope. They're taking sounds that are liked and well received, that's like mainstream, and they're kind of putting their own little twist on it. So I really see them, going big places, and they inspire me a lot.
And man, that's actually funny how you kind of mentioned that, because when I was looking through your collection here, I kind of had that same feeling when I was listening to it. I was like, hey, yeah, this is kind of like you have some of the mainstream, but I'm like, this guy has a sound, like he has something like a je ne sais quoi or something special to it. So like it definitely shows. The fact that you've said that and I thought it, so it's definitely like proven that it's working, for sure.
Right. Thank you.
Big up on that for sure.
So what are some of your goals for the future with your music? What are you trying to accomplish?
Honestly, at this point, I'm just trying to gain traction. Just, I'm on a little bit of a roll here. I've definitely got a lot more views in this past, from March on. I've noticed a jump in views, and I'm just keep trying to climb that. Obviously, it would be a dream of mine to, be able to do this as a job one day, but I'm just kind of taking it little by little.
Nice. Just living in the present. Always good.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to school for music business too, so I will be somewhat involved in the music industry no matter what.
That's sick. So if you could give any advice to someone who's rapping and maybe just starting off, maybe just got a Spotify account or whatever, they're just kind of starting off, trying to get some followers and some traction. Mm-hmm. What would you suggest for those people?
One thing I regret doing when I first started making music was I feel like I released music too early, as far as the sense, like what I was talking about when I did in high school. When I first started making music, I just kind of like just kind of made a whatever song and just released it rather than actually really trying on it and perfecting it and then releasing it. So then I have a product, that reflects what I really want to put out there. And with so I would just say, when they're starting out, really make sure it's a song to release when it's at that point where it doesn't sound amateur, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily just shovel shit for the sake of it, right? Like,
exactly.
That makes sense. That's a nice tip for sure. I could definitely relate to that. When I first started off, before making beats, I was rapping too, actually, and I would literally just shovel shit. You make a track and just like post it on your SoundCloud and hope for the best. But whatever, those are the times, and that is very great advice because you don't necessarily like whatever you post. Like you're representing yourself. Like whether you like it or not, as an artist, you're a brand. And so you really got to pay attention to what you're putting out there and if that's the image you're really wanting to go for. So, yeah, that's a really piece of advice. So, yeah, do you have any projects that you have like currently in the works or stuff that we should be looking out that you want to tell the people?
Yes. So I'm actually currently working on an album. I wrote 14 songs I wrote 12 songs in 14 days. I've already started recording 2 singles. I think I'm going to release a single before the album, and then it's going to be a part of the album as well. It's a little like teaser for the.
Yeah, for sure.
And I already started recording that. That's almost done. It's probably like 40-50% all the way done because I still have to do a small section of a verse, and then I have to get it engineered and everything. So I'll release that single, and then I'm trying to release the album by late October.
All right, sick. And I was actually just curious, like, what's your process when it comes to making a track? Do you usually like get one of your buddies to send you over a beat, start writing to it, or like what's that process for you?
Yeah, so one day when I'm just kind of feeling inspired and I feel like I really want to just make something, I'll look at some of my producers that I've worked with or that I know of in the past. I'll scroll through BeatStars or I'll scroll through YouTube just trying to find a beat that I really just like clicks with me, and just something that makes me I want to hear a beat that when I hear it I want to write to it right then and there. So I just try to find those beats, and then when I find that beat, then I just kind of listen to it. I kind of hum a little melody, and then I'll start writing from there. And I'll usually write start to finish because I don't like just writing a section and leaving it. I like to just write it all out, hook, verses, whatever.
Heck yeah.
And then and then I'll probably record it, in a day or two after I write it. But yeah, that's usually my process.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah. So definitely like almost taking steps there. You have like the writing process. You're not like straight in the booth right away. You'll maybe take your time, let it sit a bit, and come back to it. That's cool. Definitely. All right. Well, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up for us. I don't want to take too much of your time, we really appreciate you coming on and showing our people like who you're about and stuff. And we really appreciate that, man.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for reaching out.
Hey, no problem. And best of luck with those releases. And we'll be for sure looking out for those, man. Checking those out.
Thank you. Of course.
All right. Have a nice rest of your day. Peace out, my man.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. Ciao.